Donald Trump is the next president of the United States. He's already done his victory speech, but declared to win Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, and in the last few moments, the latest projections show he's set to win Wisconsin, fourth of those 7 key battleground swing states. That would take him over with the 10 electoral votes from Wisconsin, the 270 mark for the Electoral College votes that are needed to win the American presidency. So Donald Trump has, I mean, you know, all bar the final votes actually being counted, hasn't won the presidency. Still waiting for Michigan, Arizona and Nevada to declare their votes. But again, we have seen with both the Rust Belt and the Sun Belt swing states that they tend to go as one. If one goes, they all go. And the crucial state, which everyone was saying was the #1 state, Pennsylvania, called some hours ago for Donald Trump, and that meant victory was pretty much nailed on. And I think the fact that we've had a victory rally from Donald Trump and no sign whatsoever of Kamala Harris is a bit of a giveaway there that people accept that result. Well, let's talk right now to Larry Donnelly. He's a US political commentator. He's now a law lecturer at the University of Galway and joins us now. Good morning to you, Larry.
Good morning.
Good morning. Is it a good morning for you? I know that for a long time you were an active member of Democrats abroad. How are you taking the result?
You know, look, to be frank, I am disappointed. I can't say I'm hugely surprised, but it's still at some level, I am shocked. You know, I don't think it's a great step for America to have Donald Trump back in the White House. I also not so sure it's the best thing for the world either. And I say make both of those comments as somebody who was not enamored of Kamala Harris and only voted for her really as the least bad option.
Well, don't you think that's a lot of the case for Trump voters? And maybe there are a huge number of people who absolutely love Donald Trump, his MAGA supporters, but we also know a huge number of Republicans not keen on him. He's got some of the lowest favourability ratings, very high unfavourability ratings for any president. But a lot of people were making the same decision you did, which was saying, look, here are the 2 candidates. Which one's not the best, but which one's the least worst? And a lot of people said, well, actually, it's Donald Trump. I mean, I would argue that the Democrats gave Donald Trump this victory by not only their policies over the last 4 years, but also, and their failures over the last few years, but also, crucially, their choice of candidate.
Well, I certainly tend to agree with you on that point. The reality is that Joe Biden should have made the move to, you know, not stand for a second term much before he did, and they should have had a competitive nomination process. And the one thing I'm almost certain of is if they did have a competitive nomination process, Kamala Harris would not have won the nomination.
That's 100% true.
And it would have been a stronger candidate, and we might be looking at potentially a different outcome today.
Yeah, I mean, lots of people were saying, they were thinking it was too close to call. People have been saying that actually if the Republicans had anyone other than Donald Trump, it would have been an easy victory for them over Kamala Harris. And I wonder if that's true. The fact that Donald Trump, it appears, not only has got the White House, he's taken the Senate, House of Representatives, he's got a strong Conservative majority on the Supreme Court, so he's not going to face things being overturned by the Supreme Court. He's got a vice presidential candidate, J.D. Vance, who, you know, decried as weird by the Democrats, seems to me to be a pretty sharp cookie. To me, he's got the likes of Elon Musk, who are going to be working with him, we understand. What do you think that Donald Trump is going to do?
It's a good question. You know, during the campaign, he said he was going to fix inflation. He said he was going to fix immigration. I guess when it comes to immigration, that means, you know, starting to rebuild, you know, sections of the wall. He also, I think he intends to deport an awful lot of people. That, I think, logistically is going to be very difficult to pull off, given the amount of resources, both in terms of finance and manpower, that will take. We'll see how successful he is with it.
Well, Obama's administration deported huge numbers of people.
They did.
And no one batted an eyelid on the left.
Oh, no. And I'm not saying I necessarily oppose deportation. What I'm saying is that he's proposing to do it on a scale that no one has ever contemplated before. He's pledging to deport 13 million people. How you do that is pretty difficult, even when you have the resources of the United States government at your disposal. And then when it comes to the inflation issue, which, you know, I would argue is a global trend, something that is not confined to the United States, something which the Democrats arguably didn't do a great job on, but I don't think any government around the world could do everything to stop the forces of inflation. Trump says, when asked, he said he has a concept of a plan to combat inflation. I don't know what the hell that means or what exactly he's going to do to bring down the costs of goods and services. A lot of Americans voted for him because of because of his pledge to do so, because of their anger at Harris for what happened while she was vice president. But how he's going to pull that stuff off, I'm not so sure. And then if you look at his foreign policy objectives, again, it comes down to this idea of, Gaza never would have happened if I was in office. I don't know what he's going to do in the Middle East. And also when it comes to Ukraine and, Mr. Zelensky and Mr. Putin, he says he can sort this out in very short order. I actually believe he can do that, but I think what he wants to do is simply tell Mr. Zelensky, forget it. You're not getting another cent from the United States, and you just give away to Mr. Putin what he wants, and that's the end of it, and wash his hands of it.
I have a funny feeling that's not going to be what ends up happening, because that would be portrayed as a victory by Putin and a defeat for Donald Trump. I'm hoping wiser heads prevail on that particular issue, but certainly I like the idea that Iranian mullahs will be quaking in their boots, as will the pro-Palestinian terrorists. And that Israel will get the support that they need, far more than they've been getting from Joe Biden and from Kamala Harris. So that would be a good thing for me. Can I ask you just finally, as someone who is, you are a law lecturer, what happens? We were talking earlier about all these criminal charges. There's a sentencing due in a matter of weeks for the criminal charges that Donald Trump's already been convicted of. We've got 3 other cases pending. Do they all just literally disappear now, or what's going to happen?
Yeah, and he can. Well, the one where the sentence is pending, I don't think a custodial sentence was ever likely in that case anyway. I don't think it would happen to a sitting president of the United States. But the federal ones, he certainly can make go away, and I suspect that he'll do so in short order. The state level prosecution in Georgia, that he doesn't have any authority to do anything. But the issue there is that it was handled so badly by the prosecutor down there, who was conducting an affair with the special deputy she appointed to take it over, and it was really made a mangled mess of. I'm not so sure that one's going to go anywhere either. So, both two points that worth noting. These prosecutions didn't mean a damn thing to the electorate.
Yep.
And now, despite all the time and airtime they consumed for years at this stage, now they're all going to go away pretty quickly.
It's absolutely fascinating, isn't it? Politics is a funny old business. Larry Donnelly, US political commentator, now law lecturer at the University of Galway. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.